Federal investigators allege both President Biden and former President Donald Trump retained and disclosed classified materials, Trump after leaving office and Biden after serving as vice president. But unlike Trump, who faces felony charges for mishandling sensitive material, a special counsel decided criminal charges against Biden were not warranted.
There are some parallels between the two presidents. But then when you get into how they both responded to revelations that they might have some documents, that's where their paths really diverge.
Here's a look at the Biden and Trump investigations and why they led to different outcomes. In 2022, aides for President Biden found classified documents at both his home in Wilmington, Delaware, and the Penn Biden Center for Diplomacy and Global Engagement in Washington, D.C. According to the Justice Department's report, documents were discovered in Biden's garage, home office, and basement den in Delaware. Those documents, many of them his own notes, included classified information about the U.S. military and foreign policy in Afghanistan. The discovery came just months after the FBI searched former President Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago property in Florida and seized 11 sets of classified documents. Images from the resort showed boxes of documents stashed in various locations, including in a bathroom, on a stage, and in storage rooms.
President Biden and former President Trump seemed to hang on to documents that specifically related to policies that were near and dear to their hearts, where they were involved in disputes with, other members of their government. They both seem to have shared some of this information with ghostwriters, in a way sort of bolstering their legacy and kind of showing that history will prove them right.
Despite Biden's careless handling of the documents, prosecutors said he should not face criminal charges. According to the report, Biden would likely present himself to the jury as a sympathetic, well-meaning, elderly man with a poor memory.
So in part, the special counsel's report really focuses on the interview that President Biden did with the investigators. And this was a 5-hour interview. He's asked a lot of questions about these documents. What the report says is that he seemed to have trouble remembering a lot of key details about the timing of certain events, including when his vice presidency ended, the year his son passed away, which obviously the president came out and forcefully denied.
How in the hell dare he raise that? Frankly, when I was asked the question, I thought to myself, it wasn't any of their damn business.
The Justice Department also cited several clear distinctions between the Trump and Biden cases. The report said Biden surrendered classified documents to the National Archives and the Department of Justice, consented to the search of multiple locations, sat for an interview with investigators, and cooperated with the investigation. Meanwhile, Trump's classified documents case includes 40 counts on 7 different charges. The indictment against Trump alleges he retained the classified documents and directed his staff to help him evade authorities' efforts to retrieve them.
Carlos, has Mr. Trump spoken to you?
That included an alleged attempt to delete surveillance footage from his Mar-a-Lago club.
Trump may have sort of moved some boxes around, told his lawyers to look in one set of boxes and not given them all of them, and then turned over to the Justice Department an incomplete set of documents. And then, as the FBI investigated, they realized there was more things left behind at Mar-a-Lago, and they had to ultimately execute a search warrant to get all of those documents back.
Trump has denied wrongdoing and has accused the Justice Department of a double standard in treatment.
If Biden is not going to be charged, he said, that's up to them. Look, if he's not going to be charged, that's up to them. But then I should not be charged.
You don't want to talk about the document?
For Biden, the report damage is twofold. The statements made about his memory could have a negative effect on his re-election campaign and boost the campaign of his main opponent.
That's
your memory has gotten worse, Mr.
No,
President?
My memory is not good. My memory is fine. My memory, take a look at what I've done since I've become president. None of you thought I could pass any of the things I got passed. How'd that happen? I guess I just forgot what was going on.
While this report does obviously exonerate the president and say he shouldn't face a criminal case, it really did touch on his political Achilles heel, which is his age and whether or not he's too old for this job. The report clearly doesn't help the president try to make that case that he is up to the job and he's not too old to serve as president for another 4 years.